This video is going to be the amazing video, because in this video I'm gonna show you how to create forms using HTML helpers. Yes, what are HTML helpers? They are the helpers used to create the forms or the dynamic things in your view page. So I would like to show you how we can get started with HTML helpers. HTML helpers are not being used now because tag helpers replaced HTML helpers in ASP.NET Core MVC. So still I want to show what are HTML helpers and how they are helpful to us while creating views. So let's get started. So this is the controller, home controller. In this controller I would like to add one action method, that is for the HTML helpers view page, iActionResult. So this is the return method or return portion of this view, iActionResult, and I would like to give the name of this method, action method, as HTML helpers, and I would like to return the view. So this is our action method which I have created in the home controller, and now I would like to create HTML helper view page so that we can create our form using HTML helpers. So for that, firstly I have created one model, that is the customers model, which you can see here in my models folder in the solution explorer. Inside this folder I have created one model, that is customers. So in that model I have three properties: first name, last name, and mobile. So these are the three properties which I am gonna use in my view page, that is HTML helpers view page, to create the forms using HTML helpers. So let's get started. Firstly I'm gonna go to Solution Explorer, then click Home. You might be wondering why I am choosing this home folder to create my HTML helper view page, because the action which I have added recently is in the home controller. So this action method is in the home controller, so we need to create this view page, HTML helpers view page, inside the home view folder. It's a convention, you need to follow this while adding or while doing something in ASP.NET MVC. So let's add a new item here. That new item would be the MVC view page. Let's call this view page name as HTML helpers. Same name according to your action method. You can see here, this is the action method and this is the view page name. Then click add. The view page is being added now. So in this HTML helpers view page I would like to access my model first, that is the customers model. So for that you need to use the razor syntax. If you are a newbie to ASP.NET MVC, then don't forget to watch my previous videos on Introduction to ASP.NET Core MVC and Introduction to Razor. So don't forget to watch that previous videos. So I am using @model symbol to access the customers model from my model folder. So @model, then give your application name. In my case my application name is bank app dot, in which folder the model is present, in models folder dot customers. That's it. So in this way you can access your model. Now I would like to create my HTML helper. I would like to create a form using HTML helpers. So this way you can create using, then opening and closing braces, HTML dot begin form. So this is the method begin form. It is indicating that our form is beginning from here now. So inside this begin form, I would like to give my action method name, that is HTML helpers, which I have created in home controller. So give the action name here, comma, in which controller it is present, that is in home controller, comma, new, opening and closing braces, curly braces, return. No, I don't like to give this. I would like to give form method. Instead of this, I would like to give form method dot post. So what I am doing here is, first I am indicating the form that if the user submits the form, if the user submits the data through this form, then the form will be redirected to this action method, that is HTML helpers, and that action method is present in home controller, and the method of the form should be post. Obviously we have to give the post method if you want to submit the form. So this is the first part of creating the form. Now I would like to give my attribute fields of the form. @HTML represents the HTML helper. This part represents the HTML helpers. You can see here. So @HTML dot label for, then opening and closing braces. Inside this, m give rise to m dot first name. You can see here, you might be wondering what this m represents. This m represents model, which we are accessing here. You could write model here, or you could write m. It's your wish, it depends on you how you want to access the model properties. So in my case I am giving m, it represents the model. M, this is the lambda notation or the arrow notation, which is indicating that model, and dot, if I put dot there, it is showing the IntelliSense. This is the wonderful feature of Visual Studio. It shows the IntelliSense, means how many properties I have in my model. You can see here different kind of methods and different kind of properties as well. So in my case I am selecting first name. Let's give BR tag here, break tag. Below this label, I would like to take the text box for which attribute I am taking this. I am taking this for the first name dot first name. So this part is for the first name property. This is the label, and this text box is for the first name. So let's give another break tag here. Now let's call HTML dot label for m dot first name. No, not first name. We have already accessed that property first name. Now I would like to call last name. Let's give break tag here, and let's say the text box for the same property, that is for the last name property. Let's give another break tag here. We have taken two fields here, the first name and the last name, and what else remaining in the models, that is mobile. So let's say @HTML dot label for model. This I'm representing model dot mobile. Give another break tag here. I'm giving these break tags to continue this text box field in the new line. Break represents the breaking of the line. It breaks the line. text box for m mobile. So we have done this part. Now I would like to give my button tag here, button. Inside this button I would like to give some bootstrap classes. Button success. You can see here there are different kinds of buttons in bootstrap. You can access any one, button success or button primary or button default. If you want to change the size of the button, you can use button large LG or button SM small, button MD. There are different kinds of buttons. In my case I am taking success because we are going to submit this form. So we have created this form. If the user submits this form will be redirected to the HTML helpers action method, which is present inside the home controller. So let's save this and let's hop to the home controller and let's say HTTP get. Firstly, I'm going to give the HTTP action verb as HTTP get. If the user requests for the form, it represents the HTTP get action verb. So for that action verb, for that request, I am showing this form. What if the user submits the form? In that case, I would like to give HTTP post. Let's copy this same action. You might be wondering why I am giving the two action names as same, because if the user requests for the form, it just displays the form, this HTTP get action verb. What if the user submits the form? What if the user submits the entire data through the form? That form, that data will be redirected to this HTML helpers action method. So let's call customer names model here, customers model. You can see here this is the model and this is the object. So I would like to validate the form. If model state dot is valid, then I would like to do something dynamic here, but before that I would like to give another attribute here, that is validate anti-forgery token. This token prevents you from cross-site scripting attacks. If the potential hackers want to hack your web application, want to submit the data through the web application, then this token, this attribute will prevent you from that cross-site scripting. So this is the important attribute you have to remember while giving the post attribute in your action methods. So I would like to give this validate anti-forgery token, and now I would like to say ViewBack dot message equals to cust dot, that is the customer's model, cust dot first name. I am storing this value, the first name of the user, which the user is going to submit from this form. So I am storing this in a ViewBack.message. ViewBack.message is a dynamic property. This ViewBack represents the temporary data. It stores the temporary data which is used to pass the data, temporary data, through a controller to a view. View data and ViewBack, these are the two dynamic properties. These are the two dynamic dictionaries, you can say, which holds temporary data. So I'm using this property to store the first name of the user. Let's save this and let's hop to the view page and let's say if ViewBack dot message not equals to null, and let's say I would like to display this in a, this is the good part of Razor. You can see here you can use HTML inside the C#. So you can toggle easily between the C# and a HTML, and you can use the CSS properties as well by giving here. If you want to decorate these properties, if you want to decorate these fields, you can do it easily by giving new, opening and closing braces, new, @class. So that way you can decorate the properties. New, I'll show you how to do that. New, closing braces, not this class, @class. So let's give some classes names, that is form control. This is the bootstrap class. Using this way you can decorate the properties. So in my case I don't want to do this. I will remove this, and let's say in this h1 tag, what I was showing you, if the user submits the form, the post method will be called, this HTML helpers action method will be called, and if the user submits all the fields, then this ViewBack property is going to store the temporary first name data in this attribute, that is in this variable called message. That message I want to display here, that is ViewBack @ViewBack dot message. So let's save this and let's run in the browser and let's see how it works. So this is my blog, this is my personal blog, that is techgeekm.tech.blog. You can follow me on this blog. I used to post everything of ASP.NET Core MVC. You can see here I have given some little bit description of ASP.NET Core MVC. This is the part 2 for beginners, and I have also post my videos, YouTube videos on this blog. Follow me on this blog and stay updated with the latest news of ASP.NET MVC. And if you want to know the code, you can, if you want to know the code of this introduction parts, you can visit this blog, and you can see here I have also given the code here. Our application is running on localhost 55382. So don't forget to follow me on this blog. I have to give my controller name and action name inside this URL so that our view page will be called this application. Hope you understand about the HTML helpers and how you can create the forms using HTML helpers. Yeah, you can see here dot home / HTML helpers. You can see here I have given the 3 properties that are first name, last name and mobile, and this is the submit button. So I want to display this button in the next line. So for that I would like to give break tag here. You can see here submit. One more break tag. Refresh the browser and let's submit this form without filling any fields. the form is not being posted by the user. If the user is trying to post without filling the fields, then the form will not display anything. What if the user displays the form? What if user fills the form? Sean, the first name, and the last name will be Mark. Let's say 4589 4586. Let's submit this form. You can see here the Sean. This Sean is showing from here, which I have given the part. If the user submits the form, the action method is storing the temporary data, the first name, in the ViewBack.message property. This is the dynamic property which you can see here. When I hover on this property, it is saying dynamic controller.ViewBack, and this is for the get request. So that property I am displaying on my view page. You can also do this by adding more content. Welcome. Can save this. Let's hop to the browser and refresh the browser. Welcome Sean. You can see here the form is displaying and it is working. Hope you understand about the HTML helpers, how you can get started with HTML helpers to create your forms from the views. And hope you like this video, hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and please like my videos. Thanks for watching these videos. I'll see you in the next video.